Hello and welcome to the Rangers Rabble Scottish Cup semi-final special. Obviously, the guys had a wee reaction straight after the game today, but Martin had some technical issues with his internet due to issues with Virgin Media, so he talked me into doing another one tonight. So here we are. Joined special guest Derrick's back. How you doing, mate?
Great, mate. Always good to come back after a victory, so should be easier to speak tonight than usual. So glad to be back, William.
Good stuff, mate. And obviously, everybody knows Kerr because he's basically here every other pod.
I am shattered while I was at Hampden day and my legs are in agony. I think I was been playing, but I'm totally cubbed, mate. That game's just knocked me for six, and we played Celtic hundreds of times over my 49 years I've been here. But today, for some reason, I was as nervous as anything, and I was kicking everybody. Rangers were kicking. I just didn't want to make me one, and thankfully, I never.
No, it was certainly an experience. I think the one thing before the game I was thinking was we don't want another extra time, and we did end up getting another extra time, and we somehow managed to come out the other end of it with a win. So I actually don't know if I've got words for the players today. I was kind of saying before the pod started, it's like superhuman effort. I mean, I think that's like 4 hours of football in less than 3 days. Do you know, I mean, if I play 5 on a Friday night or a Thursday or whatever, I mean, I'm flat my back for about a fortnight. So like for the guys to play the intensity to have against Braga and Celtic in less than 3 days to me is just unbelievable. I mean, like, huge props to the players. I'm so proud of the players. I actually feel emotional talking about it because like the effort for the players today was just unbelievable. But let's jump into it straight away. I think the big talking point before the match, Derek, was the choice to swap the goalies. Obviously, John McLaughlin's played in the previous cup games. Was that a big decision for Gio to drop Alan McGregor?
Yes and no. I suppose he's usually the cup goalkeeper, so it's an easy out. But I've seen it happen before with managers go back in that sort of agreement, if you like, before games. So no, listen, he made a big call. He got it right. I thought McLaughlin was excellent. He actually helped us play out from the back a lot more than we would have done for McGregor, that invited Celtic onto us. It actually tired them out a bit. They had roadrunners running about after balls, basically, and McLaughlin was so composed. Maybe once he gave a corner away needlessly, but I thought he was great. Also, he commanded his box better than McGregor does. Let's not beat about the bush. So, big call for the manager, but he got it spot on, and McLaughlin was worthy of the manager's backing.
No, I think that's fair. I mean, obviously, when I seen the starting lineup, I wasn't actually anticipating any changes, if I'm honest, because Gio does seem kind of quite set in his ways in the bigger games to kind of stick to a kind of certain 11. And I thought the guys that did the job on Thursday night would be picked again. So I was slightly surprised, but fair play to Gio. I think he got it spot on. There wasn't really that much kind of talking points in the first half, to be honest. A lot of it was the second half kind of moving on, but can I touch on a few of the things, Kerr? Obviously, Kamar had that shot in the kind of 7th, 8th minute, the one where it kind of dropped to him. Lovely touch to get it out of his feet and a good strike.
Yeah.
And then obviously the kind of big one in the first half was Joe Aribo finding Lundstrom. I thought it was going in. I've got to be honest, I thought it was just in swinging into the net. What was your kind of thoughts in that first half? Was it just a matter of us like getting a foothold in the game and then trying to get in front, or do you think it's just a matter of these games you just don't know how they're going to turn out?
I think it's a bit of both, lad. I was happy with the way we played. I thought Gio, I mean, I've been critical of Gio, but I thought his tactics were good. I thought when his Bassey was pushing on to Rogic, so it was giving him any space to turn. We were going man to man at the back, which was good because sometimes we don't. And we were pushing up in Celtic and we were very comfortable with the ball. We didn't create, Joe Hart didn't have a lot to do, but we were creating chances that we could have done better with. And when John Lundstrom hit the post, I thought that's in. And I'm sitting, I was only like 4 seats and a bit of cloth and some steers away for the Celtic fans, my seat today. And it was, I was just getting called Specky the full game, to be honest with you. But it's one of the ones you hit the post and you think, right, we played really well here. Is this going to come back and bite us? Because I was probably like used to thinking our legs are going to start to tire, but we never. I mean, we had to make a change through Ramsey. I thought Ramsey was having a decent game, to be honest with you. I don't know what you think, but I thought he was finding space, just trying to get forward. I thought he was playing well. The only thing with Aaron is he just maybe can't rely on him to keep going to through games, because I don't know the reason why he broke down. I don't know if it was a hamstring or if it was a pulled muscle. I don't really know what's happened to him. There was only 4 seats for the front, and being at Hampden, I'm level with the players, so it's not the best of views either. But I thought we were comfortable in the first half, and I thought we looked solid at the back. And like Derek said earlier, Joe McLaughlin was great at coming out with the ball when we were playing out for the back. A couple of times Celtic were pressing us, but we were getting through, and Lundstrom was making space constantly in the middle of the park and finding a pass, and he's just growing everybody, Joe Lundstrom. What a man, what a player.
Derrick, will come to you on something that Kerr touched on there. When Ramsey come off the pitch, see if that's you and it's not Gio. Are you bringing on Scott Wright, or are you bringing on somebody else that maybe can play that position, maybe more like sort of defensively or in a more attacking sense?
So I'm going to be brutally honest and say the options were pretty horrible.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's really playing well in that position, bar the boys that started. So it was a hard decision. Probably, and me being me, I'd have probably went with Arfield.
Right.
You know, just for a wee bit more defensive discipline. But to be honest with you, Wright carried the ball quite well. Now, Scott Wright, for me, is not getting any end product, and that's why he's playing with Rangers. If he was the end product, he'd be in the Premier League in England. But I thought he'd done a job. He gave an honest performance, and again, the manager backed him, and Scott Wright didn't let him down, which is great. It's a great thing to see. Myself, as I said, I went Arfield. I thought it was a bit early in the game for Sakala, who would maybe been the other option, but it was such a blow Ramsey getting off because I thought Celtic were having to worry about him. So he was getting into spaces in between the defence and midfield, and people were having to try and track him, and he was making space for Lundstrom further back. So it was disappointing that he had to go off, but I thought Scott Wright done well. Nothing fancy, I reckon. He worked hard and he stretched the Celtic defence at times. So again, Gio backed right, and again, it was the right decision in the end.
Kerr, I'll come to you. See if you bring on somebody like Sakala, do you have to accept that he's maybe not going to have the same discipline that maybe Ramsey has if you bring him on, but he adds you a little bit more of an attacking threat in terms of his pace in the final third of the pitch?
I mean, obviously, Fashion has got a great attitude, and he's got pace. I still think he has to improve a lot to be in our first team next season, but you can see he does offer us some things, but a lot of times he doesn't. But I wouldn't have went with Fashion either. I thought Arfield or Davis would be an option in putting if it was Davis putting Maribo out right or bringing Arfield on, but he went with Scott Wright. I agree with Derrick. He's a decent player, Scott Wright, but he's not getting the product at the end, and I think he struggles at times following players. You see what Ryan Kent can do coming back and following players. I mean, Ryan Kent does it brilliantly. Scott Wright a few times let players go. And it's just, maybe that's just not his game, but you can see as a decent player, but I think we need better.
Right. We'll move on to the second half. The kind of first thing that I picked up on in the second half was the chance for Hatate. I mean, see, looking at that game, even just watching it live, surely Maeda's offside because he's clearly coming back.
Aye, he's offside.
And so I can't understand why the official doesn't put the flag up. Because see if that results in a goal, do you think that's a big talking point, or do you think people just move on? Do you know what I mean? Because like, to me, that was a big call, Derek. If he scores in that instance, there was very little uproar, even from like the benches and everything. Like it sort of felt like he got missed almost.
So Maeda he always looked embarrassed to play the pass through because he knew he was that far offside. That's what it looked like to me. And our defence totally stopped. But as usual, it's airbrush for history because it doesn't suit the agenda that Celtic fans will be falling about Madden having a poor game. We'll probably come on to that later. But it was miles offside. And to be fair, the guy fluffed his opportunity. But the Rangers almost stopped because it was so far. And I don't know how they're... Because put it this way, right, it's not a hard one, is it? Right, so you're talking about the Bassey one being millimetres, right? But that's 3-4 yards. That's clear space between the defender and Maeda. And it was an awful decision, probably one of the worst of the day. But again, it's airbrush for history because it doesn't suit people's agenda, mate.
Yeah, I was just kind of blown away with that. The fact that nobody really spoke about it. I mean, like to me, it looked as though he was about 3 or 4 feet offside, but maybe that was just me. The next kind of chance was Kent when he started to drive at the Celtic defence, cut inside and get the shot off. Is that something that we need to see more for Ryan, or would you rather see him taking players on wide, Kerr?
I think he needs to mix it up slightly more because I think he can cut inside and have shots because I think he's got the ability. We don't know he can do it, and I think today he kind of mixed up. He was rubbing it at full back. Bonham was going by him, Bassey was going by him, he was cutting inside. So I think if he mixes up his game, he's a very hard player to play against because he's got the pace and he's got the trickery. But he can be inconsistent, Ryan Kent, but he's always a player I'd have in my team. If he's playing good, if he's playing bad, because I think he offers you so much on and off the ball.
Right, Derek, I'll come to you on the kind of two incidents. One, was it a free kick from Roof on Carter Vickers? And two, why is I think it's Barisic and Jack come rushing out for the free kick to try and shut down McGregor and leave Greg Taylor in space. Obviously, you're obviously kind of the kind of coaching side of things and all that. What's your kind of thought process on that whole kind of 60, 70 seconds of madness, really?
So first of all, for my refereeing hat on, it's not a foul. It's not a foul. Carter Vickers totally bought that. They also took it at least 8 yards away from where the initial incident happened as well, in field, which is poor against the referee. However, it was absolute comical defending for Rangers. I mean, I'd be embarrassed if my Thorn under 15s teams lost that goal. We were ball watching. We totally forgot about our obligations to mark men. And the deflection just summed up that period of 70 seconds or so that you've mentioned, because it's going comfortable into McLaughlin's arms until Bassey has to stop the shot. But it was very poor. Obviously, we've got to stop the initial shot. I totally get that. But Taylor didn't even move. It's not as if he's made a great run. He's just standing there, and he's 18, 16 yards for goal or whatever it is. It was probably one of the worst goals we've conceded all season, to be honest. And I watched that again on the highlights there just before we come on, and I was like, obviously it's better looking back now that we've won, but if we'd have lost to that goal, I would not have been able to talk to you this evening, because I'd have been so fuming. You know what I mean? And that's probably been our problem in the last 6 to 8 weeks, is not reacting to things round about our box and being very slow. And again, I'll probably jump in this queue here a bit, William, but we nearly lost a second goal to Carter's Vickers with the exact same, not reacting to things in the box. It's a worry for me, and probably why we're not top of the league at the moment as well, William.
So who's at fault for that then? Do you think Jack should be screaming at Barisic, you hold, or do you think it's up to Barisic because he's the defender and he's probably the deeper of the two to say that he's going to sit and let Jack press the ball? Who do you think's at fault there?
So for me, and naturally, your centre midfielder should be pressing the ball, right? So if he thinks McGregor's going to get a shot off, Jack, for me, is within his rights to go and stop that. The ball's always the danger, right? For me, there should be somebody taking charge in there. If it's Goldson or Barisic, whoever's your leader in that defensive situation, should have seen where Taylor was very early, because, as I say, he just stood there and get him picked up. So, but for me, Jack probably takes a bit less blame than the defence, because he did go and press the ball. The ball's the danger. But someone's got to take control there. Well, you practice free kicks, surely. Probably all we could do on Friday by the times of how sore our legs were on Saturday and stuff. So we should have. I mean, it's easy stuff. Mark your man. It's no difficult.
Do you think they turned off Derek because it was Greg Taylor standing there?
Well, I don't know if that's maybe a psychological thing, but it shouldn't, because although I've hit the Waynes harder than how he's hit that shot, right? But anything can happen. It could take a deflection like it did and go in the bottom corner. And I thought Greg Taylor was very poor today. I thought Rangers really exploited him, and that could have changed the game for him, and it certainly gave him a wee skip for the next 10 minutes or so, but it was just schoolboy defending, very poor reaction to things that were happening in front of them, and not good enough for that point of view, William.
Yeah, I'll just come to you, Kerr, on what Derek pointed out there quickly. Obviously, the ball into the box, I think it was Kyogo, that get the touch, and it drops to Carter Vickers. And I think we've got to be honest with you, right? I mean, in that situation, you're expecting the ball to hit the back of the net, aren't you?
Oh, you have to score, but he's leaning back. I didn't, obviously in the game, I just see it for a distance, but I watched that. It just started there, I seen it, and he's leaning back, and that's how it hits the bar, but he has to score. He's, I don't even, is it 8 yards out or something, 6 yards out, so he has to score.
6-7 yards minimum, I mean, like, he's not far out at all.
But we've done that a few times this season, like Derek alluded to, we have switched off. I don't mind if you don't win the first ball, but win the second ball, but not even winning them. It's like they're looking at each other, no, you get it, and sometimes somebody just got to take control and say, I'll get it, and just even kick it away, but we don't, I don't know if we don't zonal mark them, and when we're defending set pieces and if we man mark, I don't know what to do, because I don't think the players know. We've done it against Braga. Golson's trying to organise things and they take a free kick and nobody knows who they're standing beside, and it's poor.
But see, the second balls, you're right to say that was a problem, but I thought if I flip that to a positive, we were really strong on that today. So that it should be double your effort within the box. You know, I mean, we had a similar chance in the first half where Aribo had a header and Roof had a header, and they were flinging their bodies in front of things. You know, and that's maybe been the slight difference that Carter Vickers and Starfield have done that, and we've not. You know, and that's why we lost at Ibrox, let's be honest, because we controlled the game. But I don't want to be so negative on that, because all over the park, I don't think Celtic won 10% of second balls today, apart from them in the box. So, again, credit to the midfield, but for me, the defenders maybe just switched off a little bit for that period of play, William.
I've wrote down this and put a wee star next to it, because to me, this was the minute that changed the match. in my opinion, was the minute they brought on Davis and Arfield. Derrick, I'll come to you. What did those two guys bring to us, and why were those changes so important in the context of the game?
So Celtic were on the ascendancy, there's no doubt. They got a wee jag from the two subs that came on for them, and we looked tired, and we really looked. I didn't think we were going to come back into the game. But what Davis, I mean, I could go back to when I first started on this pod talking about Davis. He's just a fantastic football player that brings composure and he brings leadership, and he also just kept the ball for us, William. He just kept it simple. He kept it moving on. He kept us moving forward. And he gave a wee bit of composure that we were maybe lacking in that kind of 15 minutes that we lost a bit of our head, to be honest with you, before Celtic scored and just slightly after. But then Arfield, for me, just gives you that desire, desire to go and win the football, desire to drive Rangers forward. And obviously, ultimately, he got a fantastic goal with one of his kind of late runs into the box. But a bit of composure, a bit of old head, if you like, and a wee bit of winning mentality come off that bench, and it certainly got us over the line.
Right, Kerr, I'll come to you on the goal. How good a pass was Golson's one to Tav? And then it's probably no Tav's best cross ball into the box ever, if I'm totally honest. I think he's almost kind of mishit it.
I thought he drilled it myself the way I was sitting, but
it was strange looking at it through the television angle. It was as though he was trying to cut across it more, and he's almost like kind of undercut the cross. And obviously, Roof's managed to get a tiny touch, but obviously, so the Golson's pass and then the finish for Arfield, how good were those two kind of clips of that goal?
That's what Conor Golson can bring. He can play passes like that. He's done it since he's been at Rangers, and he can pinpoint them. He knows where Tav is quite a lot of time. Tav hits it. I don't know if Roof tried to break it down to swing on it himself, but that's the type of goal Scott Arfield scores. Just hit because he's like this. He's in the box. But the other night when he missed his two chances, he had to think before he shot, and that's when he didn't have to think. He knew where the ball was, he knew where the goal was. And as soon as he had it, obviously I wasn't behind it, but watching the telly, as soon as that you knew it was going. Joe Hart was nowhere near it, and it's a Scott Arfield goal. And we were talking about like Stephen Davis and Kamara. They brought on more stability in the middle of the park. When Davis come on, we took control. I mean, I know people say he's a Rolls Royce player, and a lot of people do, but he is. He's composed. His movement's great. People say he's not got the legs, but he's got a brain. He doesn't need his legs all the time because he's got a brain where to position to be in the park. He can play it long, he can play it short, he can keep it when we're under pressure. The guy's just so he could play some games in his slippers. He's that good, but I thought we controlled the game when he come on, and I was happy they come on. I thought this was work today for Gio, but I'm happy Arfield scored because I gave him a bit of stick the other night. We missed 2 settles, but that was a great goal.
I was about to choke him. I came straight home from work and I'd sat down and I was just having my dinner, and then Scotty missed that chance. My dinner nearly ended up in the car. And anybody that knows me knows I don't like sort of losing any good food, by the way. When Scotty missed that chance, I was absolutely fuming. So I'll forgive you, Scotty.
Was that the first chance or the second chance?
Well, by the end I finished my dinner, so I was lucky. Basically, there's not really that many more notes up until extra time. The game kind of seemed to fade a little bit at that point. Like, there wasn't really that many sort of real clear-cut chances. Obviously, the subs, Glenn Kamara come on. He obviously ended up being influential in the winning goal. We brought on Balogun because Barisic yet again looked like he was kind of blown a wee bit, which obviously ended up working to our benefit because Bassey goes wide left and then turns into a train again running down that side of the pitch. And Fashion, well, he just runs, doesn't he? Fashion just keeps running until somebody tells him to stop most of the time. So 110th minute, it was that one where, well, we were just talking about the two players. Davis feeds in Arfield with a lovely wee ball. It was absolutely brilliant. Arfield shot, gets parried by Joe Hart. Thought he should have done better. That's just my opinion. But then Tav hits the post and then Sakala hits the bar. How does that ball not end up in the back of the net, Derek?
I honestly don't know, mate. I didn't go to the game today. I had a ticket, but I sold it in a huff last week after we lost to Celtic. So we'll move on for that. So I was, head and hands. I couldn't believe it. And you know that way you're watching the replay and you're going, how the hell did that not go in? But I mean, at that point, I'm thinking we're going to get beaten penalties. And that's you can't help it. That's your automatic thought. But I mean, I thought around about that time we were fully in control of the game. We're the only one that looked like scoring. We looked fitter. we looked better. They looked dead in their feet. And I think that's a testament to, you just mentioned Sakala running and Bassey going to left back. We had legs in the most important positions for me, because Celtic were dead in their feet. They brought Kyogo on, who done absolutely nothing. Jota didn't touch the ball from 60 minutes onwards, in my opinion. Any eventful thing, didn't do anything eventful after that. And we just looked strong, and we looked as if we could get in behind, and ultimately we did. So yeah, I couldn't believe it wasn't in, but I think we were knocking on the door round about that time, William.
I'll come back to you since I went to Kerr on the first goal. I'll let you enjoy the second goal moment.
Thanks, mate.
Obviously, a bit of sharp thinking for Kamara. A really quick free kick. Yet again, Davis is a man in the right position. Straight to Kent. Calvin just comes out of nowhere and runs about 60 yards at like breakneck speed. Smashes the ball across the box. We're giving it to Sakala, right? We don't really care if it hits Starfelt, to be honest with you. So, how special was that goal in your house at that minute? Hello, did you hear me? All right, Kerr, I'll need to come to you quickly. Obviously, the goal, what did you make of the goal? How special was that?
Oh, everybody was going nuts, Holly. We couldn't believe it. We thought, like, after they missed that other chance, we thought, this is going to penalties. I'm standing with the two boys next to me. And they were like, who's going to take penalties? If Warner's not on the park, so-and-so's on the park. And next minute, we see Kent running. Bassey going by him and at the box, and we didn't know who it came off for, because you know yourself, you're in a game, people just grab each other, and my first instinct is grab hold of my specs, because if I lost my specs I can't see where I'm going. But everybody's going nuts, and even then you're looking at the clock, when you settle back down, you're like, there's 4 minutes to go, and then it comes and he's got 4 minutes injury time. You're like, how can you get 4 minutes injury time in a 15-minute half? Do you know what I mean? But no, I think we were the better side today, like you said earlier, apart for 15 minutes. They had maybe a bit of a game. We were the best side, but that goal, I mean it to Sakala as well, because the man, he got into the box, he got into the mid, he was trying his hardest to get a touch on it, and I know Starfelt put it in, but I'm getting it his fashion. But shows you about Bassey after the games he's played, still bombing down the line that late in the game. Do you know what I mean? And we've had over, like, just say 4 hours of football in the last couple of days, so you have to praise these players. This is phenomenal for these lads. We criticise them, so when we criticise them, we have to praise them as well when they're due it. And today, every one of them's due a bit of praise for us.
No, the next question I was actually going to ask you, but before I was going to ask Derrick about the goal, was, see, when you look at like the certain stages of the match, like bringing on Davis and Arfield obviously had a massive impact on the game. Then obviously Bassey going to left back when Barisic come off. Was it just those wee moments within the game that made the difference for us at the end of it all?
It was, and I think Gio got it spot on. No many players maybe had ran their race, as in their legs are going before somebody else's and taking them off. But I think Davis and Arfield, Kamara, they three settled us better. They've got experience, they've played in these games before. They've been round the circuit, especially Stephen Davis. He's just, like we all know, he's a phenomenal footballer, and he can still do it every week if he was given the opportunity. But obviously his age is catching up to him. But I think Gio got it spot on today, and like I said earlier, I've been critical of Gio, but I'm not going to say Celtic, well, they weren't great and they could turn around and say we could have played better. We didn't let them play well. That was the thing today. Last couple of games, we've gave them opportunities. We've let them play. I know they had a goal and they hit the bar, but we didn't let them play really. We didn't let them get into the way they play. We didn't let them attack us as much. We didn't let them get the wings. We didn't let them get the crosses in as much. And Gio got it. I think he's actually watched the last couple of games and starting to change things, and he has. And hopefully, this is going to help us when we play him next time, because I think the players are digging deep. They know that could be a very special season for these group of players, and I think they're starting to realise that. Maybe a wee bit later because the league's maybe just out of touch, but I think they're starting to realise, listen, we could be legends here if some of them already are.
Yeah, well, I think the big thing for me today was, and I think it was clear to most people that, today was obviously extremely important for us. Obviously, the defeat at Ibrox in the league was hugely disappointing. Nothing can sort of take away from that defeat. Clearly, it was hugely disappointing. But today, we knew we had to get a reaction for the players. Yeah. And we knew it was going to be difficult after having to put in 120 minutes on Thursday night. So we realised it was going to be tough. How much character do you think the players showed after going 1-0 behind, having already played 120 minutes on Thursday night? I mean, what does that say about this group of players?
Well, you can't really put any words. They dug. they dug deep the other night, but the day they dug, I don't know where they found some. I don't know where some of them found their strength for, because I was burst sitting watching, and they just managed to pull out the bag, didn't they? But I don't mean it wasn't lucky. They'd done it, and they deserved to do it because of the way we turned it about. And I think the other night you hear Kamara Roof when he's getting interviewed and he's talking, and Lundstrom, the way he's been playing recently. These guys have just found another level this season. Roof gets a lot of criticism, Mully, but I thought today he was excellent. He's up against two big centre halves, but he never gave a minute's peace.
No.
He was unlucky with that shot you mentioned earlier, but he was leading the line well, and he was trying, and we all know he's no Morelos, but he offers something different, and I thought he was really good. I thought they all were, to be fair, and I just think it's just tremendous. I'm just really happy with this result. I was terrified it would go the other way, but they've proved us. They've proved their doubters wrong, not the fans, because we all believe in them at the end of the day, but they've proved a lot of people wrong. I think when Celtic were up 1-0, I didn't hear the commentary, but I'm hearing from people, some of the commentators were thinking this game's over. They're talking about the treble and stuff like that, and then as soon as it flips to 2-1, they're talking about how the ref is cheating and stuff like that. It just shows you the country we live in. It's pure screwed up.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's the nature of Rangers Celtic games, isn't it? You know, the team that loses has always got a gripe about, you know, how they lost the game. The team that won it don't really care how they won it, to be honest, because it doesn't really matter because we've won. Look, today, I thought the referee had his good and bad moments. You know, I kind of wrote down some things earlier, like I felt that McGregor could have been booked for the foul on Aribo.
Yep.
Because I thought it was a poor tackle. And then a few minutes later, he's booked for trying to clip Ryan Kent. That could have been a red. Lundstrom was probably very lucky. A few of his tackles were probably on the cusp as well. So, like, we'll try and be fair.
I'm going to ask you, just interrupt, Molly. See the one that is right at the start when Aribo plays Kenton?
Yeah.
And his shot was over, but do you think McGregor was a bit late on him? Or was that just where I was...
No, I mean, it looked a bit late. I think it's a bit late. I think if you add them all up together, there could easily be a red card in there for somebody, you know, and I think that's how the game was kind of refereed. I think Madden tried to let things go as much as he could, but then it got to the point where Aribo sort of grabbed McGregor round the waist almost, so like he was definitely getting booked. And then to that point, you just open the floodgates, don't you? As soon as one's booked, then it generally means 2, 3, 4, 5 are done, and that's just, you know, that's just how it is. For me, the biggest thing to take for the game is the players. I think we've been critical, and I think we've rightly been critical. But at the end of the day, like, these players have come back and they showed real character and real desire and real fight, and we're delighted. All right, there's Derrick back, mate. We'll come back to you to give you your moment of glory. What about the goal?
I just put the 50p in the box, mate. Apologies for that. I'm back. Aye, the goal. We're talking about the goal still.
Aye, mate. We'll just come back to
you.
Third
goal now. The 1-3-1.
Listen, the goal, Calvin Bassey put it in a great area that it's just so hard to defend, and Sakala got his body across and managed to get the nick off the defender. It's something that we've not been great at, is getting the ball across like that in recent games. So brilliant, good goal. I was wishing Sakala get the final touch because you can't help but like that guy, and it'd be great if he'd have got the winner. But listen, fantastic ball across, and so hard to defend, and couldn't be more pleased for Bassey and Sakala.
I was just saying to Kerr there, so I'll come back to you just quickly on it. What does it say about the team having played 120 minutes on Thursday night to go 1-0 behind? They're probably thinking we're in a bit of trouble here, but then they come back and won the game. Like, what does that say about this team? And does that, like, can I show you that this team have got a lot more character than maybe what some of us thought they had?
He's away again.
Yeah, away again. He's something like that. Well, look, well, can I get ready to kind of... Oh,
it's still there.
What happened there? That was
I don't know, you just rose. Looked as though you were stoned on screen there.
Nah, not me. You sober me, William. I was out doing Easter egg hunts after the game, you know that?
I mean, it was just to come back to you on basically, like, so what does it say about this team that they showed the character to come back from 1-0 down to 1 today?
A lot, mate. It really does. You know, we've had a hard few weeks, and the fact that we've followed up Thursday by today really speaks volume for the team spirit, for the camaraderie, for the character that we've got. And I really hope we can go on and, you know, dare I say it, win the Europa League and win the Scottish Cup final, because the group deserve it. You know, they've had a few bad games, but they've answered a lot of critics the last couple of games, and so is Van Bronckhorst for me as well. So they'll be, they deserve to get some silverware at the end of the season. So fingers crossed it's both. And then, but yeah, I can't speak. I'm getting emotional thinking about it because, we could have easily, after that Celtic game a few weeks ago, just chucked it in. We could have, but we've not. We've come back. We're now in a Europa League semi-final. We're now in the Scottish Cup final, a trophy we've not won since 2009. So, listen, they've had questions asked. They've answered them as best they could. And hopefully, Van Bronckhorst gets a wee bit of money in the summer and we go at the league again next year.
Can I just ask you a question, Derek? Sorry, just because you do the coaching and that, Derek, what's your opinion of the turnaround with John Lundstrom?
Unreal. I don't know if there's anything major, tactically about it, other than maybe Van Bronckhorst has backed him, or maybe he took a little bit to settle into a new city and all that. You don't know, but listen, in my opinion, he's our best player at the moment by a country mile. He was unreal today. He was unreal on Thursday night. His desire, he just loves tackling, and we've missed that when Ryan Jack's out. We've always said it on this pod. When Ryan Jack's out, we look powder puff. John Lundstrom is, for me, is Jack and more. He's got all the attributes to be a top midfielder. Somebody said on Twitter the other week that he's the new Ian Ferguson. And I tell you what, see if he's even 60% of Ian Ferguson gives to us, then what a player we've got.
I said a couple weeks ago, Derek, I would build a team about him for next season.
100% agree with that, Kerr. And he's got all the attributes. He's a leader. I remember we went to the Real Madrid game pre-season and he was bossing people about. And I fucking love that. I love that. That's what you look for in a player. And he's maybe just took a little bit of time to settle. It's maybe Van Bronckhorst has liked him better than Gerrard, which seems crazy. But, sometimes it just clicks for a player. I don't need to overthink it. It's just, couldn't be more happier for him. And hopefully, as you say, we can build a team around him for the next 3, 4, 5 years. Because if Tav goes, he's my captain.
I'll ask you two years one more thing. Sorry, we're left upstaging here. What's your two thoughts on Connor Golson? The last 2 games, he's been up to the fans at the end himself. Is that, I'm think he's off ski, or do you think he's maybe going to flip it and stay, or do you think the club should give him what he wants?
The club should give him what he wants, mate. He's our best centre-half by a country mile. And he's not got much competition at the moment with Hollander being out and stuff, but he holds us together. And do you know what I thought on Thursday night when he was lying on that Ibrox turf? Why swap this for West Brom? And I know it might be family reasons, and fair play to him if it is, and I would move for my family in a minute as well. But imagine swapping Thursday and Sunday for a relegation battle or to try and get out the Championship. Now, no disrespect to West Brom, decent club, decent fans, but surely that'd be the biggest regret of your life. Surely.
Yeah, look, I'll say it right now. See, sort of watching them today, I was kind of emotional seeing him standing in the corner, because you're thinking, this guy came to the club, he obviously had some issues at Brighton and he obviously had a bit of a heart scare or whatever, and he kind of sort of missed some football. That guy's been colossal. He's basically played 50 games a season for 4 seasons. And he's out there every week. Yeah, look, he's made mistakes, but you know what? He comes back the next week and just works harder and harder and harder. And he was one of the biggest pillars of our success last year, was how great defensively he was. And today, yet again, he's a colossus. And he helps Bassey. Bassey's still a young player developing. He helps him. I'll put it on record right now. I'll give Connor my yearly wages just for him to stay. It's not a lot of money, right? But he can have my wages if he stays, because I just...
You make sure your wife wasn't listening there while you're married.
She doesn't see any of my wages anyway. It's all right, thankfully. But I just think for me, there's so many big decisions this summer, but to me, that's one. See if we can afford to keep Connor. I just think we've got to do it. How do we replace that, man? How do we replace somebody that's been basically a mainstay for 4 years? See if it is personal and he wants to get back home, I have no issue with that. Of course I don't. But see if it's down to an extra, I don't know, $500,000 a year. That man's took us to 4 straight years in the Europa League, basically. He's helped us win. I don't know how much money we've recouped over those 4 years, maybe 40 or 50 or 60 million pounds. Just give the guy the money. I get the fact that then opens up the door to other players, but by God, that man has got everything on his side as far as I'm concerned. He's just an absolute colossal defender. And come the summer, we could have no Balogun. Helander looks so he's going about for a while again. I'm probably a better defender than Jack Simpson. Then there's only King.
He
So
gets
like,
paid more money than you.
I maybe took it a wee bit folly with right, that's maybe a wee bit of a kind of overload. It looks like the Overlord is sitting in the back there. I don't know if he's going to come on and say something, is he? No, he's
I
not.
think it takes a lot to go when he's played 53 games this season, and Herlander's only played 61 since 2019. It just shows you what Connor. He doesn't miss a game.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I
so
get
professional.
Michael's point, Neil. I get Michael's point, right? He's saying we cannot break the wage structure for anyone. But I mean, what I would say to that, Michael, is right. See if we can't replace Golson in the summer, we're going to be a worse team for it, and that to me is a massive concern. Because like, what do you need to spend to replace Connor Golson? You know what I mean? You're going to be able to bring somebody on a lesser wage than what we are paying Connor Golson right now, or potentially what he's wanting. Obviously, we've been linked with the guy from Holland, haven't we?
Yeah.
Sort of Docky. I mean, he's going to be a free agent. So, I mean, what kind of wages is he going to be looking for on a 2, 3, 4 year deal, Derek?
Yeah, a lot more probably more than Goldson. And put it this way, right? If you're looking to replace him, you probably need 2 players because he gives you that 53, 54 games a season, as we've been talking about, sometimes more. So you need 2 centre halves that can play 30 to 35, and that's it.
I don't see that in John Suter or Herlander.
No, I see John Suter and Herlander sharing the load, hopefully next season. But we need someone that's going to be like Goldson, and he's here. And I know wage structures are important, and we've been down this road before. 100% get that. But if you give him the same as Morelos, I bet you'd stay.
Yeah, easy.
In my opinion.
Yeah, and that's a fine line, isn't it? It's like, we come the summer. I mean, we're just going to touch on this really quickly because Derek's obviously got things to do. But yeah, see, we like
pay my Wi-Fi bill.
Aye, basically, that's one of the biggest things.
That's funny. He's going to be his wage.
Hey, I know where Derek's nice. My Wi-Fi bill would be a lot higher than Derek's, I can assure you, all right?
It's that high band of council tax, mate, it gets me.
Derek plugs in. Derek plugs in his neighbour's Wi-Fi. That's how he has to move rooms.
But I'll just touch on it quickly, right? See if you've got like a decision in the summer, right? Goldson, Ken, Aribo, Morelos. Who are the guys that you prioritise? I know that's a difficult question, Derek, because they're 4 very good players. But like, who do you prioritise? Who are the 2 most important players to us that we need to keep if we need to sell the other 2?
Goldson and Morelos for me.
Right. So that's just a no-brainer. Like, it's not even a decision to make.
I didn't have to. I decided it as soon as you gave me the 2 names, mate. I think that Morelos is the best striker in the league by a country mile, and Golson's the best centre half also. And that's no disrespect to the other 2 you mentioned there. I think they're 2 fantastic players, but they 2 are so pivotal to how we play and how we can keep going forward for me. And I think if we lose Golson and Morelos, I think we'd feel the effects more than the other 2, to be honest.
Yeah.
I agree, but I agree. But I would hide Ryan Kent in a cupboard so he doesn't leave.
I'd keep them all. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Curry Moyes, you're saying, I think it will be Mickey D's Wi-Fi. Here,
yes,
I'll tell you, Curry, I'm not actually that big a fan of McDonald's. I've got to be honest with you, right? But like, I do like a wee sausage and egg McMuffin every so often. You know what I mean? I do like a wee sausage and egg McMuffin.
Who does,
right? Exactly. I mean, we're not skinny guys here, all right? So we can't get away with saying such things. Right, so last point before we go. Semi-final of the Europa League. I know we've kind of spoke about it earlier in the week. You only hear Derek. What does it mean to you to see the team back at this stage in Europe? What does it mean to you as a person and as a supporter?
Try and make me greet tonight. Everything, mate. It just means everything. Like it's. We've obviously only been with 5 times in our history. I think it was. I was reading certainly 2 times in my lifetime. 3 if you count the Champions League right at the very, very start. When we got to the last 8 stage or whatever it was. But it means everything. Like Thursday night, I just sitting just myself having a wee greet. It just means so much. And we give everything to it, the fans. You pay your money and all that, and to see us, in the last 4 of the Europa League is just unbelievable. And it's obviously the league's not going our way right now, but it just shows we're a really good team. And to lose our manager mid-season. And to lose have big injuries to big players and still be competing at that level just shows what our club's all about, And when the chips are down, we get the sleeves rolled up and the socks up to the knees and we get in about it. And I can see us. I think we'll beat Leipzig. I honestly do. I really genuinely believe that, just because I think we want it more than them. Because You know, I just feel as if we've just got more about us than Leipzig. Maybe not technically, but certainly, you know, in the heart and, you know, and how we're playing. So yeah, I mean, if we get to that final and win that Europa League, I can't even imagine how it's going to feel. I mean, people always say, would you rather the league or the Europa League? And it's a no-brainer for me. You know, when you win the Europa League, we still sing about 1972. You know, we don't sing about winning the league in 1992. Or, you know, you get my point. So
yeah, of course,
it'll just mean so much to me and to my family if we can manage to do that. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm getting chills thinking about it. I don't even know if I'll be able to cope with it. I don't even know, but we'll see. It's a hard couple of games, but yeah, it just means so much. And fingers crossed we can get that couple of stages further and go one better than Manchester. And, you know, we'll be talking about that for 50, 60 years to come.
Just a wee quick one. One of the guys talking about some of the players coming into the first team next year. Keep an eye on that. Hopefully at the end of the season, I'm trying to kind of do a few things behind the scenes. So we'll see if we can maybe try and get an interview with one of the players come the end of the season. And I'm also trying to arrange a few other things, maybe some sign giveaway things. So keep an eye on the Academy pod and the Rabble's main pod. Once I've got everything confirmed and once I've managed to like pull for some stuff for some of the players or whatever, we'll get them all signed and we'll do a wee giveaway. And also just want to finish up by saying we've passed the 5,000 subs mark today. It's a wee bit surreal, to be honest. Me and Martin started this off with a bit of, I don't know what you would say, kind of one of those moments of stupidity, I suppose you could say. And now we're at 5,000 subs. So just want to say thanks to everybody for taking the time out to listen to us talk absolute nonsense. Thanks for obviously watching out for the Academy pods. That's been greatly appreciated. I say there's a lot more to come on that. We'll hopefully doing like an end of season kind of special with a person for Rangers. Don't want to say too much at the moment because it's not been signed off yet, but hopefully somebody for Rangers who's quite important is going to be coming on the pod. So if that gets signed off, I'll be a very happy guy. And I think Paul's just going to finish it up by saying apparently that was Stephen Davis's 700th appearance. Well, there's not really much more you can say to end the pod on. So thanks for that, Paul. And thanks to everybody for tuning in. Much appreciated. Hope you all enjoyed the day. If you're already drunk, just remember to switch the lights off on the way up the stairs. And everybody else, I think there's a Walter's Way special coming on tomorrow. So look out for that before. I think the guys have a wee day or two off. So there'll be a wee midweek pod at some point as well. So thanks very much for tuning in, guys. And we'll see you all again soon. Cheers.